And we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, and you are listening to the Sunday Night Prayer. Today, we're going to be talking about the NFC North. We're going to give you guys all the best bets, all the best futures that you need. So don't you go anywhere. Before we go, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, blow up the chat. If you have any questions for us, we are here to answer all your wants and degenerate needs. You came to the right place. Today we're talking about the NFC North. I'm joined by the Three Stooges, and I'm just going to go ahead and start with Dante. Dante, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling about the NFC North? Give us some smoke, kid.
Feeling fantastic, man. So this is one of the most underrated divisions, in my opinion. I think two of these teams are really, really set to improve, and obviously you got the Green Bay Packers. But I want to start off with the Bears. I have them getting last in the division personally, but I do not hate Justin Fields by any means. I think he had a really productive rookie year. He had the second highest big-time throw percentage in the entire league, only behind Kyler Murray. And the second closest rookie was Mac Jones, who was a whole 1.7% under him. He was also not scared to throw the ball down the field. His average depth per target was 10.1 yards, which also ranks second among starting quarterbacks, only trailing Russell Wilson. But the thing that really sucked about him was how bad he was under pressure. And he was under pressure a lot. 43% of his dropbacks, he was under pressure, which was the most in the league, and he was absolutely abysmal. That was the downfall of his entire game. And I see that being kind of the same this year. The Bears didn't do anything on the offensive line to really improve it. They drafted an FCS tackle in the 5th round who's going to start. So that kind of just shows you where the group is at as a whole. They're really, really bad. They got David Montgomery. Their rushing attack is decent. Obviously, Fields can do a little bit with his legs too. But their receiving core, really, really bad. They got N'Keal Harry. They got Byron Pringle, like the two best blocking wide receivers. Like I guess that's kind of cool, but these guys can't catch for shit. They're not really that productive offensively. And I think that's going to be kind of a similar scenario for the team as a whole, especially on offense. The defense, pretty bad last year. Their defensive ends are actually not bad. They got Robert Quinn and Travis Gibson, who were both really effective pass rushers last year. Quinn had 47 pressures, and Gibson's PFF grade was an 87 rushing the passer. They lost Akeem Hicks, which is going to hurt a lot. I think their run defense is going to be really, really bad. They got arguably the worst linebacking core in the NFL. With Alec Ogletree out, they're bound to improve a little bit, but they really don't have much other than Roquan Smith. The secondary, I actually kind of like. Not this year, but give it like 2-3 years. I think they're going to be really nice. They got Jaquan Brisker, who was my favorite safety heading into college football last year out of Penn State. Kyler Gordon didn't give up a touchdown last season for Washington. And Jalen Johnson, my guy from Utah, he's been very, very solid throughout the beginning of his career. So their secondary in a few years is going to be really, really good, but they're still pretty young. So I'm not expecting too much from them this year. Overall, I had their ceiling at 7-10, but I think they're going to go 5-12. But I had the floor at 1-16, so I could see them being really, really bad if it gets to that point.
Yeah, all that stuff about Justin Fields was cute, but this team's ass. Like, they are not built to be good. Their wide receiver core is bottom of the barrel. You have a problem when Mooney's your wide receiver one. You get N'Keal Harry, and you just think that you're live. You're not. You're ass. I'm sorry. Byron Pringle is your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. You have a problem. The offensive line's absolutely abysmal, and I thought Justin Fields was the best quarterback coming out of that draft class. But I wasn't that impressed with what he did last year. I think he's a big question mark, but I understand where he's coming from and how bad the offensive line was. I'm a Dolphin fan, so everyone wants to sit here and make excuses for Tua. I can see the excuses for Justin Fields as well. But like you said, I think this team is bottom of the barrel. They really didn't upgrade their roster at all. If anything, I think it got worse. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think they could go 1-16 or win 5 games, but I truly believe the Detroit Lions are miles ahead of the Chicago Bears.
I mean, it's just like, where did the Bears get better? It seems like their roster is just significantly worse. I think their best offensive player, they lost in Allen Robinson. Their best defensive players were Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks, both gone. They won 6 games last year, and their win total's at 6.5 again. I mean, I don't know if I'm blind, if I'm missing something, if I can't see, if I can't read, if I can't think, but everything that I look at with this Bears team just points in the wrong direction. I mean, 58 sacks they let up last year. This year they have both tackle spots with 2 guys compete. Both tackle spots are opened. They have 3 guys competing for them. Between the 3 guys, they've started 10 NFL games. And they expect Justin Fields to just like take a leap this year. I don't see it with the Bears. I can see Dante's point of the 1-15 being a realistic expectation. But I mean, win total at 6.5 wins. We'll get to that in a bit. But I'm with you boys so far.
Yeah.
Before Ryan goes, my bad.
Go ahead.
I just want to let you know that the Chicago Bears under win total at 6.5 is the most bet future across the board.
Is it?
And for me, it would be an under, but I love Fields and I hate Matt Nagy, and he's gone. And I don't agree. I don't know. At least today in today's NFL, I don't like the hiring of defensive-minded head coaches. It works sometimes, but the way the offense is just so like advanced now, I feel like you need like one of those young guys or somebody that at least can run like a high-level offense. But Bobby, you said it. You lose your best target in Robinson. You lose Khalil Mack. You lose 4 rotation guys on the defensive line.
It's crazy.
And that's what their supposed strength was to be. And they weren't even that good when they were there. So what's it going to look like now? You look down the schedule, you see maybe 3 games that they should be favored in, 4 tops. There's not much going for the Bears. But I'll leave the book open because Fields has all the tools and Nagy is out the door. So they can't be any worse offensively.
It's fair.
I think
No
that's
Tariq
fair.
Cohen either. Cohen out again for the year.
Really? Oh, yeah, that video.
Yep.
Dude, that was terrible.
Wait,
that
what?
was so sad.
He went live like doing ladder drills and just popped his
I do remember that.
2
Yeah,
feet
that
in
was
front of
Dude,
the
it was
camera.
wild. But you were talking about teams hiring young offensive-minded coaches. That's going to be a great transition to the Minnesota Vikings. They went out there. They hired Kevin O'Connell, former offensive coordinator for the LA Rams, Super Bowl champions last year. Another guy from the McVay tree. Are they on the right path, Dante?
I'd say yes. Their offensive line is very questionable. We were talking about it before the show. Jesse Jones, one of the worst tackles in the league. He's going to be playing guard. Or, yeah, Jesse.
When
Jesse
someone's
Davis.
that trash, you have to say their name right.
Yeah, Jesse Davis.
You don't want to
Dolphins
disrespect
fans
someone
know.
else. Like,
Dolphins
as a Dolphin
fans
fan,
know.
that man is ass. Jesse Davis is a
apologize.
liability. I'd
Yeah,
rather
he is.
have 4 offensive linemen than have Jesse Davis on the field.
So
That ass. I
Jesse
swear.
Davis, he gave up 8 sacks last year. Going to be the starting right guard. It looks like for the Vikings. That just basically tells you everything you need to know about their offensive line. Christian Darrisaw had a really good rookie season. I think he's going to progress a lot as well. So he'll be like the really only solid player on this offensive line. Everyone else is either below average or just average at pass blocking. Kirk, I think he's on the down slope too. He had the best season of his career last year. He had more turnover-worthy passes than interceptions by like 11. I think he had only 7 interceptions last year, but threw 18 turnover-worthy passes, which means he's due for a lot more interceptions this upcoming season. I think he's just going to regress a good amount, especially behind that offensive line. The rushing attack is solid with Dalvin and Madison, and the run blocking opposed to the pass blocking was actually solid. So I think the rushing attack is going to be more than fine this year. I think it's going to be a lot better than it was last year, especially if Dalvin can stay healthy. The receiving corps kind of speaks for itself. Justin Jefferson has solidified himself as an elite wide receiver, and Adam Thielen's one of the best route runners, has great hands, super good wide receiver too. And don't forget about KJ Osborne. He's a nice third target. He scored a touchdown in 5 of the Vikings' final 6 games last season. So they have a really, really good wide receiver corps. The defensive line has a bunch of proven guys. There's no real question marks, no inexperience. All these guys have played like at least 3 seasons at a decent level, at a starting level. And I think their linebacking room is going to get a lot better, especially because they added Zadarius Smith and Jordan Hicks, 2 players who were stars at a couple of their previous destinations. Jordan Hicks had a couple really good years in Philadelphia, and Zadarius Smith obviously was really, really good for the Packers. And they still got Danielle Hunter, and he wasn't healthy last year, which contributed to their pass rush kind of sucking. He had 97 pressures in 2020. If he can get back to that level, this pass rush has potential to be very good as well. So I think the defense is really underrated. And the secondary too. I mean, Cam Dantzler has been one of the best corners from the 2020 draft class. And they added Lewis Seen, who's very physical, can play all around the field, very versatile player, line up in the box during his time at Georgia a lot. And they also obviously still have Harrison Smith. So I think this defense is really, really underrated. They got some young rookies in the secondary, but the front 7 is very, very proven, really talented. So I like this defense a lot. I have their ceiling at 13-4. I have their floor at 7-10. And I have them going 11-6, but not winning the division.
Okay. Put some respect on the damn Vikings. I think they're winning the division. Spoiler alert. Kirk Cousins. Zimmer's gone. Mike Zimmer's gone. They had smoke. They had beef. He's out the window. Now we got a young offensive-minded head coach from the McVay tree, Kevin O'Connell. And we got Jay Jetta, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne. Come on. Put some respect on the Vikings. How do we forget Dalvin Cook? They got some dogs over there. And everything you just said about the defense was my biggest concern last year. They had a trash-ass defense last year. A head coach who, I mean, you literally thought you went in a time machine, went back to 1934 and thought you were watching football. And they had Jay Jetta on the field. They did not throw the ball enough. They did not get the ball in that man's hands enough. You had a quarterback go 33-7. It could have been 45-3. I mean, put some damn respect on this team, bro. I think they upgraded. I think they built their roster better than anyone else going into this year. I think the Packers got worse. I think the Bears got worse. The Lions got better. We'll save that next. But, dude, this Vikings team is legit.
Yeah.
And go ahead,
Ryan. Okay, I'll go. And the good thing here is that they only got to play 2 primetime games. So no primetime Kirk. Fields hype over there because week 2 it's a primetime game in Philly. So he's going to count that one as a dub.
That's an L anyways.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But, I mean, and it came out today that Zimmer hated Kirk Cousins. Like, wasn't a fan of the guy. It's kind of the same. Like, me and Smoke talked about it all the time with Flores and Tua. Like, how hard does it have to be when your head coach is just, like, not a fan of you? That's just got to be the worst situation to be in. And I don't want to make excuses for Kirk because I'm not the biggest fan in the world. I think he's okay, average to sometimes he just balls out and it's insane. But I'm high on the Vikings. I'm with you guys again on this one. I mean, look at those skill positions, man. They have some serious bona fide weapons. I think a lot of people sleep on Dalvin Cook too. His main problem is obviously he can't stay on the fucking football field. But outside of that, when he gets the ball, he's a dog. So I'm high on the Vikings as well. I got a pick for later in the show.
Yeah, I got one also for the Vikings, but just offensively, you can't deny the talent from the skill positions. Like a good up and coming tight end, one of the better receiving like cores in the NFL if they're on the field. Dalvin Cook's a dog, even though he only plays like 15 games a year. Madison is capable. The only question is the offensive line. So, and Kirk Cousins is better than most people think. Like everybody thinks he sucks just because he sucks on primetime, but in reality, he's been like probably statistically like a top 10, top 12 quarterback over the last 5 years.
He's tough. Kirk's tough.
Yeah, he's not ass. It's just he gets such a shit rap because of the primetime stuff. But defensively, I mean, this team, Mike Zimmer was a defensive-minded coach, so who knows what they're going to look completely different now. But in this division, I think their win total is like 9. To me, I don't see how they don't get at least like 3 or 4 wins in the division. I don't know. I lean to like the over with them, but another new coach coming in and a shit O-line, it's hard to put money on them.
Facts. I agree. That leaves us with – so we did –
we got Lions and
Bears. We started with the Bears. We did the Vikings. Time for the Packers. Where do you want to do the Lions?
I was ready for Lions. So
go ahead with the Lions.
All right. Jared Goff coming off the worst season of his career. To this point, I don't really rate him at all, but it's kind of hard to be worse than he was last year, so he's bound to get better. I do think that they upgraded a lot at the wide receiver position. They got DJ Chark. They got Jameson Williams, who might be injured to start the year, but still like a ridiculous talent, has like the sky's the limit for him. There's really no way around it. Elite speed can burn you in every way, shape, and form on the field. So he's really good. The offensive line returns everyone and gets Frank Ragnow, who was really the heart of the group, back from injury. I don't think they performed to the best of their ability last year with Ragnow back and kind of holding the group together. I think that offensive line is going to be one of the better ones in the NFL. I think DeAndre Swift is bound to get more than 100 targets this year. Kind of a bold take, but I really, really do think that if he can stay healthy, he will get more than 100 targets and probably around 75, maybe even 80 receptions. So I think he's due for a huge year. Both the passing and running game struggled last year, but they made some really good moves. And I like how they trusted their gut. They didn't go overboard. They didn't freak out about how bad they were last year. They kept like the core guys there, and they just slightly improved, which I like a lot because they're still a really young team. The defense, I love Aidan Hutchinson. He's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. Just an extremely high motor player, never quits on the play, and he's clearly stoked to play in Detroit. I mean, he was throwing out the first pitch at the Tigers game. He's all over the place. He's Mr. Michigan. He's stoked to be in Detroit, stoked to play in his home state. So I'm really excited to see how he does. Michael Brockers had a really, really bad year last year, the worst of his career, like super uncharacteristic for a guy who has been solid all throughout his career with the Rams. Maybe it was just a first-year thing with the Lions. Maybe he's just really bad now that he's older, but I don't think that's going to happen again. I think he's bound to improve a little bit. And Charles Harris had the best season of his career in 2021. In his first year with the Lions, he's in the prime of his career now, and he had 52 pressures last year. It wouldn't shock me if he got up to that 55, maybe even 60 range with Hutchinson playing on the other side of him and getting a lot of attention. With the secondary, Jeff Okudah, really not really sure how to rate this guy.
Dude, I want him to be so good. I love Jeff
So do
Okudah.
I.
I really do. Like,
He's
I
so
think if he
awesome.
plays, he's a dog.
Yeah, but I mean, he played in 2020 rookie year, didn't do that well, but he's a corner. Like, you can't really grade a corner after his first year as a rookie. You just can't do that because most of these guys don't really even have a decent year till their third or fourth season. He was injured a lot last year. This is now his third season, which I don't even really consider his third season. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if it took another 2-3 years for him to break out. So that's kind of hard to rate. Amari Uriwiare is coming off his best season where he only gave 2 touchdowns, and quarterbacks had an abysmal 60.1 passer rating when targeting him. And they also got Mike Hughes, which is another really tough player to evaluate. He had his best year, like, grade-wise, but he also gave up 8 touchdowns, which was the worst mark of his career. So I'm not really – it's kind of hard to grade a player like that. He's going to play nickel, so not too much responsibility like Okudah or Amani because they're on the outside, obviously. Behind a great offensive line, I think this team is going to be a lot better than they were last year, simply. The offensive line is the heart and soul of the team. They're going to improve a lot. The defense is still kind of young, but they have some really talented pieces who can blow up. I had their floor at 4-13, but their ceiling at 9-8. My prediction for them was 8-9.
I think the Lions are going to be lit. I think the Lions are going to be lit this year, as in like a team you could bet on Sunday when there's a fishy line and it's going in the Lions' favor. I will be slamming them, and I cannot wait to get my revenge for last year. And I get it week 1 when I'm going to slam the Lions +4 against the Dirty Birds. That's the biggest trap game of all time. I'll gladly take your action on that field. Lions easily whooped their ass week 1. Give me the Lions +4 all fucking day over the Dirty Birds. Lions got embarrassed 44-6 at home last year. That shit ain't happening again. And by the way, I love their draft pick this year. Jameson Williams, absolute dog from Alabama. Guy is a freak. Like, you watch Alabama play and you're like, who the fuck is that guy? And they got that guy. And you team him up with DJ Shark, Amon St. Brown, DeAndre Swift. And look, I obviously called Jared Goff Twinkle Toe Goff, and he deserves that nickname, but he's not that ass. He's not good, but he's not that ass. And I think you could win enough games with Jared Goff. I mean, he went to a Super Bowl. I think their defense is really young. I think they have a lot of potential. And Dan Campbell, he's just out there. He's holding down the fort, baby. And as a Dolphin fan, he's always got my respect.
Facts, dude. People don't give enough credit to Amon St. Brown. Like, dude is actually a legit, like, nice-ass receiver. And I think one of the better moves the Lions did was firing Anthony Lynn as their OC, because that guy is fucking abysmal, bro. We saw what he did with the Chargers. We saw what he did with the Lions. Like, get him out of the league. I don't understand how we just have this constant, like, recycling of coaches. Like, wasn't good here. Maybe he'll be good here. Like, no. Anthony Lynn's not it. I'm glad he's gone. I did the math earlier. Lions had 7 games in which they lost by 1 score or less last year. We were talking about it a little earlier. I think that lends itself towards water should find its level a little bit next year, and some of those 1-score losses become 1-score wins. I mean, that's kind of how things happen. But I know Field pointed out that, like, if there's 3 or 4 of them, maybe that makes sense. But when it gets to 7, it turns into, well, why the fuck aren't you guys winning 1-score games? What's the problem here? Is it coaching? Is it something else?
So that's definitely a good point. It's Justin Tucker breaking the single game record for longest kick in NFL history.
There's one.
That'll do it to you. But
shitty teams find ways to lose games, bro. Like, the Lions will put themselves in that position. And I like their offense. Amon St. Brown, obvious fantasy sleeper if he's like end of the fucking draft.
I think his fantasy level goes down this year, though.
It probably
he's being projected.
They drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah, but he's injured. DJ Chark is always injured.
We're acting like DJ Chark has done anything since like 2019 too. Like, he has been off the face of the earth forever. Worse than Laviska Shenault, in my opinion. Like, I mentioned DJ Chark because he's like an addition, but like Amon-Ra is the bona fide number 1 here. But and we're forgetting about TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson's the number 2. I mean, DJ Chark, when Jameson comes back, DJ Chark might not even see the field all that much. Like, he's literally going to be their 4th target when Jameson Williams is healthy.
But he does. When he's on the field, you have to account for him. He's like the Will Fuller. Like, he's just going to stretch the field. So when he's out there, other guys are getting open. And Jared Goff, like, he has a cannon. He might not be a good quarterback, but when he has protection, when you've got weapons that get open, he can throw the ball. He can get you the ball. So the offense should be improved just by the offensive line being improved. Like Bobby said, Anthony Lynn is gone. He's absolutely dreadful. And DeAndre Swift is a total fucking stud. Like out of the backfield, he's like Kamara, McCaffrey level if he can be healthy.
He's a dog.
No,
I agree.
So
I agree.
I like their offense, but like just a team that loses that many games, like for them to go over their win total, they have to win twice as many games as they won last year.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't see the Detroit Lions winning 7 games, but I do think they're on the rise. This is a big year. I mean, you have to figure out if Goff is your plan going forward or what the fuck you're gonna do. So I don't know. Shout out to the Lions, but I don't see 7 wins on that schedule.
The thing about what you just said, though, is it's a little bit weird because their run defense might not be that good. Like, they added Chris Ford, who's not a very good linebacker. Alex Anzalone is, like, one of the worst linebackers in the NFL. So the linebacker room is, like, abysmal, but the pass rush is going to be pretty good, and I think the secondary has potential as well. So it's like as long as they can match other teams' physicalities when they're on offense and run the ball, which I think they can, I think they're going to hang in, like, a lot of these games, like, especially when they're at home. Say a decent team like a 10-7
1
type
against
team.
the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, like
we're at home.
I think they could definitely hang with the Eagles at home. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like a team that's like probably around 10-7 going to Detroit, and the Lions have to match that physicality. They can totally do that.
The Eagles are going to
do that.
I would take Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes,
I would.
We're
going to beat the shit out of the Lions.
Yes, I would.
Not being ridiculous.
Jalen Hurts
He just rolled his eyes at you so hard, bro.
Give me Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts all fucking day.
You think Tua is significantly better than Hurts, which makes no sense.
No, I think he's better than Hurts.
That makes
I think
no
he's
sense.
better than Hurts.
Makes no sense.
And Tua is slightly better than Jared Goff.
No, you're fucking ridiculous. Jared Goff. I mean, I could see an argument for Goff over Hurts, but that's in like a pro style. Like Hurts brings way more to a fucking offense than Jared Goff does.
Like
yeah,
what? He can't read a defense.
Can run.
He's always late.
What do you mean, bro?
In his first year as a starting quarterback, they led the offense.
Bro, he's not even a system quarterback. You put any quarterback that's not ass in that Eagles team, they might go to the Super Bowl. They got the best offensive line in the entire league.
Not
the best offensive line in the entire league. You can't get through your progressions. You have a weak ass fucking arm. Bro, the guy sucks. Everyone in Philly wanted Russell Wilson. Everyone in Philly wanted Deshaun Watson, and you got stuck with Jalen Hurts, bro. You're just like the Dolphins. You got stuck with Plan C. Your guy sucks. Jared Goff is better than him.
I guarantee Jalen Hurts is way better than Jared Goff this year. Way better. From an overall, I'm the fucking quarterback leading this team. We're not going to have 5 wins, and my fucking linebacker isn't Alex Anzalone and Jamar Davis. Okay? Jared Goff can throw the ball. That's it.
And what could Jalen Hurts do? What does he do? Speak well
RPO,
at press conferences?
RPO, play action, run the ball.
Yeah, keep the defense on
there's
it.
Plenty
do
of
you
things.
know how hard it is to stop a team that runs the ball 6 yards per carry?
Yeah, everyone's game planning for Jalen Hurts. That's what they're doing.
Oh my God, Smoke!
Fucking game planning for they're game planning for Nick Sirianni to call 45 run plays up the fucking middle, smash mouth football.
Last year, that's last year.
That's what they're doing.
Jalen
What they're doing, dude. We're talking about the NFC North. Your quarterback's ass. Let's talk about the fucking Packers. They actually have a real quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a huge year this year. Actually, no, he's going to be ass. Aaron Jones is going to be ass this year. Just remember.
How do you change your mind like that?
Because I don't want you to pick him in fantasy. I don't want you guys to pick him in fantasy. You fucking love.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Now you got me saying the Lord's name in vain. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Oh my gosh.
But watch out.
Aaron Jones has a big year. The Packers got worse. Defense, I think that's going to be their backbone this year. Aaron Rodgers, look, he's great. He's phenomenal. He makes your jaw drop. He makes throws every single year where you're like, yo, how the fuck do you do this? He's a bum in the playoffs. I'm tired of all the hype. They get the 1 seed every single year. They have 1 Super Bowl win. And look, as a Dolphin fan, do I want Dan Marino to have one ring? Yes, obviously I do. Aaron Rodgers has that 1 ring, but at the end of the day, he sucks in the playoffs, fucking mid. I think the Vikings are a better football team than them. And by the way, Matt LaFleur, I think he has a vagine. I don't know how you send out your field goal team in the NFC Championship game at home up against Tom Brady thinking you were going to get the ball back. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then if you got the ball back, you would still have to score a touchdown to win the game. So you're just an absolute airhead with absolutely zero football IQ. And I think it's really cute where you always have a great regular season and everyone wants to slob your knob. But then when you have to win a must-win game, you absolutely suck and you blow it for your team. So that's my take on the Packers. Now, Dante, go ahead and tell everyone everything that you fucking know.
So I'm on board with you with LaFleur. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL. Their special teams was like the weak link of the team last year, and it really showed in that playoff game against the Niners when I went to go to the bathroom, and then next thing I know, I come back, and all of a sudden the Fred Warner blocks a punt, and they have like 7 more points, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? But either way, they lost Devontae Adams, which is bad on its own, but they don't have anyone else to take over as like that alpha dog receiver. Rodgers is still performing at his peak at 4,000 plus receiver or passing yards last year, 337 touchdowns. And regression, in my opinion, is inevitable. He loses his only good target and threw 13 turnover-worthy passes, but only 4 interceptions. Interceptions are going to rise. Less passing yards and less passing touchdowns are in the making as well. The rushing attack was extremely good last year and ranked in the top 3 in terms of efficiency. They got David Bakhtiari fully healthy, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones leading that running back room. I think the running back room, the rushing attack in general is just going to be explosive, probably top 5 in the league, maybe even top 3. As for the receivers, the group as a whole is like awful. They drafted Christian Watson, who's more of an upside pick, not like a now type of player. But I do really like their 4th-round pick, Romeo Doubs, wide receiver out of Nevada. He was mainly a deep threat during his early seasons at Nevada, but he came into his own and kind of became an all-around threat in 2021. He caught more than 70% of his targets, had more than 1,100 receiving yards, and made 9 contested catches on 15 attempts, which is just a ridiculous rate. If you're catching 60% of your contested throws, you are just an absolute stud, and that's exactly what Romeo Doubs is. He can get it done after the catch as well, average at least 6.5 yards after the catch in 3 of his 4 college seasons. And he's a smoother route runner than Christian Watson, and is very physical in the red zone. I think he's going to have a really good rookie season and possibly even be the Packers' leading receiver. The defense, I mean, where do I begin? There's literally everything possible, which is just fantastic. I'll begin with the secondary. They got Jair Alexander back, who is arguably the best cornerback in the league. They also got Eric Stokes, who really surprised me last season. His speed at the cornerback position is one of a kind. Had a really good 2021 season, and with less of the pressure being on him with Alexander back, I mean, these two are just going to be smooth criminals all year. Probably the best cornerback duo in the nation. And they also got Rasul Douglas, who is an absolute beast as well. That cornerbacking trio is pretty ridiculous, in my opinion, the best in the NFL. And their safeties are nice too. Adrian Amos is a proven veteran. And obviously, you got Darnell Savage, had a little bit of a slump last year, but I expect him to get right back into that form that he had in his rookie season and in 2020. The linebacking room, pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. Rashawn Gary is technically a linebacker in their scheme, even though he just mainly plays as an edge rusher. But Rashawn Gary, extremely good. Devondre Campbell, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And they also added Quay Walker, who has a fantastic feel for the game. He's 6'4", 240 pounds, really, really physical. That's a perfect player to go right in their scheme. He's not going to rush the passer a lot like Rashawn Gary. So he's going to be more of that pursuit guy to stop the run, which I think is a perfect fit for him. He's got a really good feel for the game and is a sure tackler, and that skill set will be perfect against the run. The pass rush, like I mentioned, Rashawn Gary. That's all you need to know. Guy's an absolute stud. And on the defensive line, they also got Kenny Clark, who's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. This defense is right up there with the Saints, in my opinion, one of the best in the NFL, the backbone of this Packers squad. And obviously, you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the field, other side of the ball, along with A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, and a couple of guys at receiver who can honestly break out, even though they probably won't be at that great. I have their floor at 9-8, ceiling at 14-3. Prediction is 12-5 and a division win.
Yeah, you're kidding yourself if you don't think that fucking Aaron Rodgers, regular season Aaron Rodgers, with one of the best defenses in the NFL, also got Devontae Wyatt. I don't think you mentioned him, Dante. Another first-round pick. This team, the GM's made like 7 first-round picks, and 6 of them have been defensive players, and they all pan out. Gary, Savage, Stokes, Alexander. So I have no reason to think that both the Georgia kids from the best defense in college in however long it's been that we've seen are not just going to come in and be studs. Aaron Rodgers is going to make one of those bum receivers famous and rich. It's inevitable. He makes guys open by the way he plays. Okay. If nobody's open, he's going to make them get open by scrambling, throwing the ball where only they can get it. You have probably the best running back duo in the NFC behind maybe Dallas if you like Zeke that much. This team's won 13 games 3 years in a row. Their win total last year was 10.5. They lose Devontae Adams. Now it's 11. Vegas knows what's going on. They're not fucking losing this division. They're going to run away with it, and it's going to be the end of it. Then they're probably going to choke in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, how many years have we watched the Packers with Aaron Rodgers? You know what they're going to do. They're going to go win the division. They're going to win between 10 and 13 games, and they're going to find a disastrous way to lose it in the playoffs. I mean, not much more has to be said there. The only other guy that I think didn't get mentioned is they get Robert Tonyan back. I mean, he caught 11 touchdowns in 2020. It seems like him and Rodgers are like boys. So I think he might end up being one of the lead receivers over there. I don't expect it to be Sammy fucking Watkins. I'll tell you that for free.
He's good for one game, though.
Yeah, he'll have
week one.
Is one crazy game. And then the only other note I had on the Packers is Nathaniel Hackett, their offensive coordinator, is gone. So that is a little bit of a change, but I assume Aaron Rodgers, being the guy he is, pretty much runs that offense as it is. So not the craziest change. The Packers are going to win between 10 and 13 games, win the division. We've seen it happen a million times.
New Year, same story. Let's get into the bets. Let's put some money in some people's pocket. Let's start with the division winner. I'll go first. Give me the Vikings to win the division at plus 235. I love the number. I'm not going to sit here and lay all the juice with the Green Bay Packers. Look, I know Aaron Rodgers is fantastic. I understand that he's great. You lose your OC. Your number one wide receiver as of right now is Sammy Watkins. You have a problem. I think the defense is great. And I'm not saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers won the division. I think that's the most likely scenario. But when you're getting a number at plus 235, I'd rather take that value and root for, the new dog, the new team that's up and coming versus the same old story that I've seen each and every single year. And to be honest, when you put yourself in the Packers position, a team that makes the playoffs every single year, first seed in the NFC, and then you still can't get it done, that puts your coach on the hot seat. That can make it was supposed to be the last dance last year. So there's a lot of Aaron Rodgers, by the way, just is getting paid $50 million a year. So is his heart really in Green Bay or is his bank account really in Green Bay? I just think this team's due to decline, and the Vikings at plus 235, I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not running to lay 190 on the Packers. I think the Packers win the division. If you're really that inclined for the Packers to win the division, you want to bet it, parlay it with either like the Bucks or the Bills. I know that hurts to say as a Dolphins fan, but the Bills are probably going to win that division. So if you like the Packers and you really want to get some bread down on them, you bet them minus 190 and you parlay it with something else. I'll tell you what you definitely don't do is you definitely don't bet on the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I've been there and done that far too many times.
Been there, done that.
So,
or bet $7,000 on them to beat Tom Brady in the NFC Championship game for Matt LaFleur to send out his kicker down 8 on his own 20 on the Bucks 25. Yeah, been there, done that. Dead to me forever.
Bobby, you don't have to run to bet the Packers minus 180. Just let me know. I'll put it in for you. I'm fucking sprinting and betting that. I don't care. I'm looking at this team in this division. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think his heart's been in football ever, and he's the best quarterback in the regular season every year.
True.
So, yeah, minus 180 when I think it should be minus 220, 230. That's the kind of value.
Tells me everything I need to know.
There you go. Hey, you just look for a little bit of value here and there.
Yeah, I'm really confused where you guys are seeing minus 190. Mine's minus 250. I wouldn't have bet it at minus 190 in the first place. I'm not betting it at minus 250 either, but I do think the Packers win the division. That secondary is absolutely ridiculous. Like, imagine this. Jair Alexander forces an interception on like the first play of an opponent's drive. Packers start with the ball at the opponent's 30-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, deep shot to Christian Watson, touchdown. Packers are on the board. Like that's going to be all season in my opinion. I think we're going to get a lot of things like that.
Alexander tears his ACL week 1, dead.
That's a really bold take. Assuming somebody's going to tear their ACL in week 1. But
no, I'm saying what if? Like I don't want that to happen. But you're saying like imagine this, and I was saying imagine that.
Well, then they'll probably like lose a couple more games, but I mean, I don't know. I'm banking on Jair Alexander not tearing his ACL in week 1. I don't know. I don't think it's a very bold take. The Packers win the division. They also hit their win total over. Yeah, they did hit their win total over. I don't know if I'm rushing to bet it though. I have them going 12-5. Their win total is pretty high. It's 11. But I do think that their schedule plays out pretty nicely for them. And with Aaron Rodgers in the secondary, it's going to be tough to beat them in the regular season. That is. Are we going over all the teams or just one at a time?
Well, that was just our division winner.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
Now we got win totals. I'll start things off. Let's get it cracking. Vikings over 9 wins. Please and thank you. But my favorite one of all time is the Detroit Lions over 6.5 wins. Thank you very much. Jared Goff, take me to the promised land. I like the defense this year. I think Jeff Okudah, year 3, but really year 2. I think he's going to prove himself. I thought he was the best player on that Ohio State team. Now, that's a hot take. I think he was one of the reasons why that they won that national championship game against Clemson. I think he's really good. No, they lost that game. No, they won that game. They won.
That was a
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah,
No, that was in
semifinals.
semi.
And then
That
they
was in
lost to
semi.
Alabama
That's how
in the
long it
final.
was. Yeah,
They
you're
got
right. You're right.
smoked by Bama.
Yeah. Well, everyone gets smoked by Bama. It doesn't matter. I think the line's gonna be good. I like them to win over 6.5 games. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think they can get over 6.5.
The win totals, there's not a ton I'm doing with them. I think they're pretty sharp numbers. Packers, I lean over. I'm not betting that. Vikings, I lean over as well, but I'm not betting that because I have what I think is a better bet coming up next. Bears, my favorite bet was going to be Bears on the under, and then Smoke tells me it's the most bet future of all time. What does that tell you about me? I'm a fucking square. So that one, I'm off that now. I'm going to have to sit back and think about that. That was my favorite win total coming in. And then Lions, another one where I lean to the over on their win total, but I got something better for you on that bet coming after this.
Yeah, give me the Vikings over 9.5, whatever. I think they get to 10. And if you three actually like the Lions over, give me the Lions under. Give me the 6. Give me the plus money. They've got like 4 games on their schedule. Like I said, that they should win. They'll end up winning.
Like week 1 at home against the Birds.
No, that's an absolute L. But I don't think they're winning 7 games. So I'll take a push at 6, or give me the cash, plus money cash at 5 if they win 5. Just a lot to ask them to double their win total.
Yeah, so for me, I'm with Bobby. I'm not a huge fan of any of these win totals. I think they're very, very sharp. I'm kind of in the same area as the bookmakers. But if gun to my head, have to give me one, probably going to be the Vikings, to be completely honest. I think 9 wins is a little bit too low. You're basically just asking them to win double-digit games. Their defense got a lot better. They're really proven. They have a lot of talent on every aspect of their defense. Offensive line, a lot of question marks. That's what's kind of holding me back from actually putting in that bet. Same goes for the Lions. I think their defense, especially their secondary, has a lot of question marks. And like I mentioned, their linebacking room is absolutely abysmal with Alex Anzalone and Chris Ford. And then you got the Bears. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Their offensive line is awful. They had one of the worst offseasons, in my opinion. Their secondary is going to be good down the road, but that's one of the teams I don't think has a bright future. Like, there's that group of teams that people are like, oh, the Panthers, the Lions, the Bears, like they're all really young. The Jaguars, give it like a few years and they'll be good. The Bears, I don't really see that happening. I think the Panthers are going to be pretty good. We already did that. But Bears, not really much going for them. I thought they had one of the worst off seasons in the NFL, and not really expecting much this year either. So probably going to be under, but not going to bet it because it's obviously the most bet thing in the world, and I knew that beforehand, and that's what kind of prevented me from talking about them.
I think trading for N'Keal Harry really puts him over the top, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, we got prop bets coming in. I got the Vikings to make the playoffs -135. NFC is as easy as it gets. It's like Ryan walking up to like an absolute 2 at the bar that's completely blacked out off of Zan, has no idea where she is. Ryan's cash every single time in that situation. I think the Vikings are in the same boat.
That's all they got. So bad. I was down for it until you added like the drugs and shit. Now I look like Bill Cosby.
All right, okay. Minus the drugs, like let's not paint a picture that Ryan's like the one creep at the bar that just waits to see some fucking absolute 2.5 leaning over the bar, no clue where she is, and Ryan's just like, come on, I'll take you home.
I've had lows,
and then bangs her in the side of the road. So we're not going to promote that. We don't agree with that. We think that's fucked up. But I was trying to paint a picture of how easy it is to make the playoffs in the NFC. Just like
I see the comparison.
All right, as long as you see the comparison, I like the Vikings to make the playoffs -135.
I'm with you, Smoke. I think Smoke took that from me because I texted to the group earlier, and he took it and didn't even use the good line that I gave him at -110. Instead, he wanted to tell the people that he's a mush and has terrible lines on his book.
No, dude, it's the book that me and Ryan have. It's the worst fucking book. I made him cancel all my futures, and I'm betting them through DraftKings because, dude, I was laying 150 for the Colts. Like, dude, I was getting licked. Like, my Super Bowl odds terrible on the Chargers. There's my spoiler alert, Waddle. On his book, it's Chargers to win the Super Bowl at +1,000. On DraftKings, it's +1,600. Got me fucked up.
Yeah, that's miserable. But I'm with you on that, Smoke. I think Vikings to make the playoffs. It is a good bet. I'd rather bet that than their win total of 9 because I think that if they went out and won 9 games, there's a chance they get into the playoffs in the NFC, like Smoke insinuated with the easy little comparison he made there. A couple other bets that I actually do like is, so since I'm a little higher on the Lions and I'm low on the Bears, I think the perfect bet is just Bears to finish 4th in the division, and you can get that at +125. They have the exact same win total. I don't want to bet either of those totals. I'm a little higher on one team than I am the other, so might as well take Bears to finish 4th. I think their roster is literally dog shit, and it was bad last year, and it got worse. So that's butter. I mean, I might double bet that, triple bet that, quadruple bet that, do whatever you need to.
Butter.
2 more that I'm thinking about, haven't put in yet. Aidan Hutchinson, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's my Michigan boy. I mean, how could I not? And then Justin Jefferson to lead receivers in yards. I think it's like plus 800, plus 900, something around there. He is the favorite, but I mean, that boy is a dog. I'm going to watch him gritty all over the place this year. So I think Jay Jetta, most receiving yards, is a good bet.
Yeah.
All right. Before Ryan goes, if you had the 2nd overall pick in fantasy, who would you take?
Me?
We're not. Is this you? Don't you have the 2nd pick?
I think I do.
No, I'm just asking. Like, if you had the 2nd pick in fantasy, like, who would you take?
If
what's the rules for the league? Like the
I'd
one
take
that like
Tua.
our league?
Yeah, I'd probably go like Mike Gesicki or something.
Yeah,
Just
good
really-
call.
Gosh damn it, Bobby, shut up. I'm trying to figure out who's going where before me.
Bro, I have no idea. It's either McCaffrey.
Yes, you do, bro. Yes, you do.
McCaffrey-
I'll give you my take on who I would pick 2nd.
You've never once made the playoffs. The fuck
I
cares?
would pick Jonathan Taylor 2nd overall.
He's going
That would be
first.
Say he's going 1 overall.
Cooper Kupp's my number 1 overall, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If it's 3, but what I'm looking at 3 wide
Hey,
receiver
no,
PPR.
Make sure you get Dante's
3 wide
money
receiver.
before the season.
3 wide receiver, full PPR. Cooper Kupp's number 1, Jonathan Taylor number 2.
Yeah, I always
that's
wait.
okay.
I always wait for receivers in fantasy, but
Yeah, but I don't have the 1st overall pick. I'm picking a running back no matter what. I mean, I don't have the 1st overall pick, so that's not in my equation.
okay. As far as bets for this division, Aaron Rodgers.
So you're
is
not
one-
going to tell me who you're taking 2nd?
McCaffrey or Henry. Same thing as Della at 3.
I'm good.
And wait, did he say Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
He has
That was
like
just
a third. He has like a 2nd or 3rd round evaluation for me.
That was just the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What?
That's a ridiculous take.
Okay. Well, we'll see. When you guys actually win a fucking fantasy championship, I'll like listen to your opinions. But you take
Collusion.
Dude, you cheat. All right, just
Collusion.
give your dumpy prop bets.
Aaron Rodgers won MVP 2 years in a row. He's plus 1,000 to win MVP. If you don't have that, you're a squid.
No chance.
I know the only reason he won't win is voter fatigue, but I just saw Nikola Jokic win back-to-back, and nobody fucking likes him. What else? Cousins plus 5,000 might be worth like lunch money. I don't know. He could just have like insane stats with that offense, and they could win 11 games. Who knows? Any Alan Lazard prop, he's gonna fucking, even if he only starts for like 9 games, he's gonna just completely thrash everything. He's a scrub, and he's gonna be with Aaron Rodgers, so that's obvious. What else? I have all of them on top of my head. Aidan Hutchinson, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and there was another one. That was it, I think. Who knows?
Those were my props. Well, I gave my props. You gave your props. Bobby gave his props. Did Dante give his props?
I didn't, and there's
Dante
really
needs
only
props.
one. Unfortunately, you guys already mentioned it. 2 of you guys did, but it's Aidan Hutchinson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like I said, the guy opposite of him had 52 pressures last season. He can hold his own on the defensive line. Both of them will be drawing like a good amount of pressure on both sides. So odds are both of them will have a lot of like single coverage or only one guy blocking them for a lot of their snaps. I think Hutchinson will thrive during that. I could see him getting upwards of 10 sacks this season. I don't really see another rookie doing that. I think Kayvon Thibodeau's too injury prone. The guy who got picked first, Travon Walker or whatever his name is, doesn't really have it yet. He's going to take a while.
Don't say whatever his name is like you don't know every single college football player that ever played last year, and it's the number 1 pick. You didn't know his name. Dante's naming guys from like Eastern Missouri State University,
wild.
and he knows everything about them. He's an encyclopedia, Dante. It's a pleasure to be able to watch your mind work, kid. Keep it going.
Travon Walker, I think it's going to take a couple of years for him to develop and really get used to that NFL speed, so I don't really see him doing much this year. And the linebackers, I think Quay Walker's cool, Devin Lloyd, they're both cool, but I don't really see either of them like being above and beyond in their first season. Aidan Hutchinson's the only guy that I think really has it, so him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And also, I really liked your bet, the Bears to get last place. Like, I don't really see a world where that doesn't happen, so I'll probably tell you on that. I absolutely love that. So those would be my 2.
You can do like exact orders.
And if it's possible, there's probably no book in the world has it, but Romeo Doubs receiving yards, no book has it. But if that's a thing,
you could do division exact order. So if you think the Bears are last, I'm guessing you think Lions are third, Vikings second, and Packers first. You'll get a better number.
I don't love that though. I don't love the exacta. I'm a big fan of the Bears last place. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Because you said that's plus odds, right?
Yeah, plus 170.
120.
120.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Well, there you go. There's all the bets for the NFC North. There's a full breakdown presented by Dante's yours truly. And you just listened to another episode of the Sunday Night Prayer. We're getting things rolling over here. We'll see you guys next Monday at 6.
Peace out.